Coach, thanks so much for joining us on the call today. If you would take a minute to tie up the win against Illinois, please, and we expect to see you to begin conference play Thursday against Temple.
We're really excited about we start conference play against Temple, and knowing that's always been a great matchup for us. And last season they ended up winning the conference, ended up beating us going up there, and that was one of our 2 losses. But it's been a good week of practice, and really excited for our players, and we continue to get game prep. We know it's a Thursday; it's a short week for us, and we just we have to be continue to just make sure we prepare the right way and our kids stay focused.
We'll take questions for Coach Strong, please. Star 1 on your telephone keypad to join the queue. Then the operator will introduce you.
We'll go first to Mark Narducci, Philadelphia Inquirer.
Hey, Coach, could you tell me on tape what you've seen at Temple and what maybe would impress you the most about them?
Well, they have that aura about them where they're a physical football team, and you see that, with offense, they do a lot of different things. They give you a lot of different personnel groupings, and it does a good do a good job of moving the ball. Defense, they're very aggressive. They want to push the tempo on defense, and the thing about they're solid in the kicking game. So overall, they are a very solid football team.
And one other thing, I know you get asked a million times about Quentin, but could you talk to me about where you've seen him just from the short time you've been with him, what you've seen him improve on?
Well, it's just his third. Just saw him play 3 games, and he'll continue to get better. And the thing about him that he knows is from just recognition of just studying the game more, and so much more that he can do for himself.
Thank you very much.
We'll go next to Joey Knight, Tampa Bay Times.
Coach, D'Lo kind of hobbled off the field late in the game Friday. Is he okay, and will he be available for Temple?
Yeah, we should have everybody back for Temple, Joey. And so, we had 2 good practices yesterday and today. He wasn't able to go today, so we'll see exactly where we are tomorrow.
And Darnell didn't suit up. Will he be available?
Darnell will. Yes, he will. He will be available to play.
And one other thing for me, Coach, seems like all the guys on defense I talk to say it's just a different energy this year. Everybody you ask says that. Is that just a testament to Coach BJ or just to these kids?
Well, it's a combination of both, because Coach BJ is very aggressive, and he has a way of getting the players ready to go play. And you look at his defense, a lot of the players we have are older players. You look at the seniors, you have 3 up front, you have 1 at linebacker, you have 3 in the secondary. So they've heard a lot about the defense and what they didn't do, and now they're just working hard to prove to everybody what they can do.
We'll go next to Dan Tortora, wakeupcalldt.com.
Good afternoon, Coach. How are you?
Good, Dan. How are you going?
Doing well. To look at the backfield, and obviously Quentin being a part of that with Tyson Johnson, just what you could say about this game most recently, as well as how versatile you could be in the backfield with South Florida.
Well, you look at all 3 of those runners. When you look at Q and Dearness and Tice, they all had over 100 yards rushing. So they're physical runners. The thing that Dearness can do, he can has enough speed to outrun you, whereas Tice is more of a power back. But you just can't take one and just game plan it where you're gonna go stop one, because all 3 of them are very effective and they're really good with the ball in their hands. And even we need to get them out in the passing game; they can catch the ball.
And then, Coach, as far as something that's affected on and off the field, everything that happened with Hurricane Irma, just what you could say about the community, about South Florida as a whole, as well as this conference's response to everything that the teams had to kind of navigate through, as well as, some of the guys, with their families and whatnot in South Florida. Just what you can say about the overall sense of how the team responded and what you can say about the outpouring of support.
Well, the outpouring of support has been just unbelievable. And I told our team when we canceled the Connecticut game, and just knowing that it was coming, and we knew it was going to hit on Sunday, but at the time we knew it was going to be the early morning. But it was just more about bonding, and then playing that game last week against Illinois. I just talked about us just giving back to the community, and there's a lot of people that lost a lot. You know, there's lives that were lost, there's possessions that were lost, and just for a few minutes, see if we can bring a smile back. You know, our prayers and thoughts are out there to each one that because there was a lot of people that suffered through it, and the recovery is going to be a while, and so we can just continue to play this year and think about, you know, so much that was lost at that time.
And a quick follow-up. When you look at these young men, you're obviously watching them in the classroom and on the field, but what can you say about how you've seen them grow through something like this and use something like this, a natural disaster, to come together and obviously, you know, become more mature as one and become more of a closer unit?
Well, if you stick together and you come together, you'll be able to work through a natural disaster, and that's what you started seeing with our players. And I told them sometimes you just can't control what may happen, and we had no control, and that's where you just sit helpless. But I think fear set in because just not knowing what was going to happen, and anxiety sat in. But you can always come together because you see a whole community. You know, when you see the state of Florida, we're saying Florida's strong, but you see a city of Tampa that's really, you know, doing and opening shelters and doing everything they possibly can. You know, from the first responders to everyone involved, and trying to just make things happen and make things work for all those people that have suffered.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
We'll go next to Derek Sharpe, USF Radio.
Coach, the drastic decrease from the first half and second half on penalties was nice to see, but are you still a little bit alarmed at the penalties committed on Friday night?
Well, just looking at them and just got to make sure we play better football and be a better disciplined team. There's no reason for so many penalties.
And I know you haven't had much of a normal week. Now you go on to a Thursday night kickoff. How did the Sunday, Monday practice go?
Well, they were fine. I mean, we go without on Sunday practice, without today practice, and play on Thursday. It is a short week for us, but we just got to get our guys ready to go play.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go to Matt Marshall, Orlando Sentinel.
Hey, Charlie. I wanted to ask, where do you feel the offense can continue to improve on as you guys continue to move forward?
It's when you look at just all phases, offensively, even on defense, and then the kicking game, it's all about rhythm on offense, and you're always looking for explosive plays, and you have to protect the quarterback. But the key thing is we had to be able to run the football, which we were able to do on a Friday night, and that's because when you run the ball, you have a physical nature about you. So we have to be able to run the football. And then on defense, like I said, we got to get off the field on third down. You have to tackle well, and it's all about protecting in the kicking game.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
The next question is from Sean Pastor, Owls Daily.
Hi, Charlie. Hey, so I was curious just in terms of sort of game preparation this week. We're 3 games in, and I was just curious, you got to put together, you're not just looking at tempo from this season's tape, you're looking at tempo from last year, you're probably looking at Coastal Carolina offensive tape and Florida defensive tape, and it's a short week. Just how do you look at all that tape, and or if there's part of that you weigh heavily and less heavily in this week?
Well, you have a short week, and Temple's played 3 games, so you look at the games that they've already played, and so you try to put a plan together and don't know how, we really know how much they're going to change or what they're going to add, just to be able to adjust in a game. And it's about adjustments and getting lined up, because if you get lined up on defense, you have a chance, and offense is about, creating a rhythm and see if you can move the football. But you take the games that they've already played, and you look at last year's game that we played against them, and just try to take what you can from each game.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you.
Time for one more for Coach Strong, please.
Certainly. We'll go to Leo Haggerty. It's Sports Magazine.
Good afternoon, Coach.
How you doing, Leo?
I'm doing fine, Coach. Coach,
Good.
do you think the targeting rule needs to be reviewed? Because, if the defender's 2 steps away and all of a sudden the offensive player changes his plane of reference, and you have a guy that's going to put a shoulder on the numbers, and all of a sudden his helmet's down there. It's almost impossible for a defender to react to that, isn't it?
Well, it's just the flow of the game, and then the flow of that play and how that play happens, but the game is still about safety, because I'm all about that, and we try to teach our players that you can't target, you don't hit no one in a defenseless position. You got to stay up on guys, and you got to protect guys, because you don't see someone in their career because of a late hit. But it's just hard, you can't. It's so tough for an official, because he's going to call what he sees, and then they get a chance to review it. So once they review it, they have a chance to really get it right. So I think that we're doing everything we possibly can with our officials in our conference of trying to get it right.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck Thursday.
All right. Thank you.
Coach, thanks so much for the time today. I look forward to hearing from you again next Monday.
All right. Thank you.